A star-studded compilation comes to BBC2 with Gracie Fields, Nat King Cole, Ella Fitzgerald, Harry Belafonte, Tessie O'Shea, Max Miller, Simon D. and Dusty Springfield, in a tribute to the great age of light entertainment from the BBC's Lime Grove studios. Far from being an eccentric building in an ordinary street in West London, it was home to a glittering assembly of programmes whose names are synonymous with television. Panorama, Today, 24 Hours, Midweek, Nationwide. It was also the home of such famous movies as The Wicked Lady and The 39 Steps. We'll be telling the Lime Grove story on Bank Holiday Monday. I do hope you'll join us on BBC2.
On BBC One now, the news, followed by Everyman at 10:20, which reports on a controversial project in South Carolina, where pregnant women who harm their babies through drugs and alcohol are jailed in an effort to protect the health of unborn children. Now on BBC2, we've another tall tale from that master of mimicry, John Sessions.
The ocean. He sees in its blazing blue challenge a response to the questions within it. Convulsively, he rinses his hand in the curling anemone of his hair, rolfs the Harris of his smile. Here's the carpentaria of blood in the hitherto stagnant gulf of his freckled physique.
Neighbor, everybody needs good neighbor. Just a friendly wave each morning.
Hi, Henry. You look kind of down, mate. Yeah, Mike. It's these tea towels. They never seem to dry the lemonade tumblers properly.
Well, you know what it says in your mum's knick-knack shelf? Some days life's easy, and other days it's really rather difficult.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Look, Mike, you're a guy with pretty striking cheekbones, so I guess I can be pretty frank. These lemonade tumblers, well, they're a bit of a red herring. It's Ramsay Street. I mean, there's just not enough happening. What do you mean? I went to the dentist yesterday, and I got my hair cut. It's still not enough, mate. I'll see. So that's why you're going around looking like an Easter Island statue with constipation? Yes. I mean, no, look, maybe we should go into a different room. Henry, there is no such thing as a different room in Ramsay Street. I know that, Mike, but at least the curtains will be different, or the scatter cushions. Henry, if I so much as glanced at soft furnishings, I'll be seriously concerned I was turning into a woman. And a pretty female sort of woman at that. Look, Mike, I've got to tell you, the other day I was down in the den looking for something to prop up the sunbed, and I found these books. Books! I suppose the next thing you'll be telling me is you're knitting baby clothes. No, will you listen to me? Like, I said I found these books by a bloke called D.H. Lawrence. You mean the bloke who dressed up like an Arab? I think so, yes. Henry, I'm telling you, mate, a bloke who dresses up like an Arab is only one step away from dressing up as something else. What, you mean a camel? No! Anyway, I don't care how he dresses, Mike. I'm telling you, when it comes to love and canoodling, this bloke really knows what he's talking about. Yeah? Well, all you got to remember is what Scott Robinson says. And he says, love's what you do with girls, and cling film's what you wrap around date crumble. Look, I haven't looked at my cheekbones today yet, so I guess I'll see you around. Long had he slept, the plumed serpent. But now he was rising. Rising behind that vest that Henry wears, revealing both nipples. Toiling in the flames of his desire for Gail Robinson, wife to Paul, sister-in-law to Scott, descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Alan Freeman. Gail, my life is meaningless without you. Like an Australian miniseries minus Vincent Ball. And it's not like Paul appreciates you. I mean, he just sees a hotel administrator, but I see something mystical and magnificent, like an air hostess. Guess I'd better try and lie down in my room.
He collapses onto the candlewick bedspread. But the penguin paperbacks which lie there seem to beckon like concubines. Sons and lovers, women in love, Lady Chatterley's lover. And from the ashes of their good old yellow pages, there rises like a phoenix, a spare and bearded face. Who else but David Herbert Lawrence? What's it like to be fully alive, Henry? To realise the full rutting potential of understairs cupboards and garden sheds. Blimey! It's Lawrence of Arabia. Lawrence of Nottingham, you pig-ignorant, sunbathing, vacuum-headed apeth. Gosh, you've really got a knack for spinning out a good sentence. Sentences are for neurotics, lad. Like Virginia Woolf and E.M. Forster and all the rest of those pansy-picking girl guides. God, am I glad to be shut of them. And in a moment, he is back there, back in the bitching, twitching, and less than bewitching world of Bloomsbury.
Hello, everybody. There's an amusingly vile little man from Nottingham I've invited round for tea, a certain David Herbert Lawrence. And would you believe his father was a coal miner? Here he comes.
Hello, Bloomsbury Group. I'm just a simple lad from Nottingham, and I don't know proper like, but I know you'll all be kind and considerate and show me what cutlery to use.
Of course we will. And we'll show you how to do joined-up writing if you promise not to be smelly.
What do you mean, smelly? I just come from London Zoo. I got hosed down with the elephants. They gave me a bun and all. Didn't cut me toenails, though. It's all right if I do them now? Well, don't you want a cup of tea first? No, it's all right. You carry on. I'll do it now. Oh, so does anyone fancy some sex? Beg your pardon? Well, do you or don't you? I haven't had any since I left Nottingham. Ooh, all hoity-toity, are we? Well, if I'm not getting out, you can stuff your tea and cakes. Ta-ra, Bloomsbury Group! And that's what they were like, Henry. Pig-ignorant. Rude. I'm telling you, it's the passion behind words that matter. If you want Gail, go and get her. But mark thy mind, thy mother. My mother? Yes. Mothers are out to smother their lads, to stifle them, crush them. Remember, you're not just her son, you're a lover.
Not when I use the wrong bath towel, I'm not. She can be downright pernickety when it comes to do's and don'ts in the dunny. Oh, blimey, there she is. Look, get behind that unconvincing backdrop.
Is that you, Mum?
Yes, Henry, it most certainly is. And I think it's about time that you and I had a little chat, my love. So let's have you plonk down on this Draylon sofa, if you please. Now, I've just been speaking to Mike in another part of the set. We spoke a little bit about his cheekbones, and then we started talking about you. Now, would I be right in thinking there's a little someone who's become a bit special to you?
A little someone? You mean a dwarf?
No, Henry, I do not mean a dwarf. I'm talking about one of the indistinguishable young girls of which Ramsay Street has no shortage.
Yeah, well, I guess you're right on the wicket, Mum. The someone who's a bit special to me happens to be Harold.
Happens to be Harold.
No, Mum, it's just that Harold's arrived. Hello, Harold. Hello, Henry. I'm not interrupting anything, am I?
Yes, Harold, oh trial of my life, I'm afraid you are.
Well, I'm sorry about that, Madge. I truly am. I just thought you might like to know that we've got a new neighbour, a Mr. Lawrence. And between the three of us, he's a rather peculiar little pom with a beard.
A beard? Well, that has to be a first for Ramsay Street.
My thoughts entirely, Madge. Which is why I took the liberty of inviting him around for a cup of tea and a slice of guava pie.
Right. Henry, it looks like we're going to have to postpone our little tete-a-tete. There's the door. We'll go and answer it, Harold.
I go at once, like winged thunder, Madge. Mr. Lawrence, Please step this way, sir, into our humble abode.
How do you do, Mr. Lawrence? My name is Madge Bishop. If you don't mind my saying, you look a little bit frayed at the edges.
If I look frayed at the edges, it's because I've been beaten by life like a Nottinghamshire hearthrug. The dust hanging in the still blue air like mortality.
Well, I've got just the thing for that. Some cured ham on a sesame bun. So, do you know my son, Henry?
Yes, I know him. Been putting him straight in a few things.
Well, I must say he needs a whole heap of straightening. Right now, he's about as squiggly as an Ayers Rock cave painting. So, if Harold and I go and break out the cured ham, you can carry on with your little pep talk. And mind you, listen, Henry.
Look, Mr. Lawrence, I can just about handle you showing up as a spook, but, I mean, having you here in the flesh...
Flesh is real, lad. Shh. Flesh is real. You think I'm going to mince about in some buttercups and daisies afterlife? I'm telling you, I took one look at heaven and I turned to God and I said, you can take that grin off your face for a start, because a bucket of them stopping. Flesh and blood, or not. So what you going to do about this Gale, then? You going to take her, or not?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? Just imagine it. Impassioned bodies rolling together like crocodiles in the primeval slime.
You ever thought of giving yourself a drink of bromide? Answer me! Look, I just said I don't know. I mean, we're talking about families here, Mr. Lawrence, and neighbours who happen, just in case you don't know the song, to be good friends. Now, Gail is married to Paul, who's the brother of my brother-in-law, Scott Robinson. And if you think I'm going to betray a bloke named after a kitchen towel, you've got another thing coming.
Don't mess about. Challenge him. In fact, why don't you do what I had the lads do in Women in Love? Wrestle him naked in front of a roaring fire.
Look, he's a very busy man, Mr. Lawrence. He runs a motel. He has to make up menus and shake out tablecloths and everything.
You're running away, Henry.
I'm not, it's just... Look, have I really got to wrestle him with no boxies on?
Yes. It's naked or nothing.
Oh, I don't know. I wish Helen Daniels was here. And what she doesn't know about heart-to-hearts over lunch and meat sandwiches isn't worth knowing.
Well, goodness me, I'm most flattered.
Helen, good day. What brings you round?
Oh, I just stopped by to lend Madge my Reader's Digest guide to the stately homes of England, from whose distant shores I'm led to understand this gentleman has recently arrived. It's Mr. Lawrence, isn't it? My name's Helen Daniels. You mustn't be duped by my impeccable English accent. I am, in fact, fifth-generation Calgary. I shouldn't be telling you this, but the Queen Mother herself was convinced that I was, in fact, the Duchess of Kent, if not, in fact, her very own daughter.
Well, she's nearly 100, isn't she? Stands to reason she's blind, deaf, and daft.
Not a royalist, Mr. Lawrence? Look, Helen, I'd like to be able to stop and talk and everything, but I've got to go and strip Paul. I mean, I've got to go and see Paul. So, I'll see you later. Okay. Bye, Mr. Lawrence.
Bye, Henry. Good luck.
Yeah.
Why do you say good luck, Mr. Lawrence?
Mind your own business, you nosy bitch.
Perfectly charming, I'm sure. Have the English always been this ill-mannered? It certainly wasn't my experience with Dame Anna Neagle.
Anyone ever told you you're a very attractive woman?
My. The blunt yeoman turns honey-tongued flatterer.
I like a bit of honey on my tongue. And I bet you do and all, Lady Chatterley.
Kindly don't refer to that revolting publication, Mr. Lawrence. Not unless you want me to run amok with the air freshener.
Don't give me that. Thou knows thou wants it.
Good day, Mr. Lawrence.
Thou knows thou craves for it. Just imagine the sharp tang of bracken filling our nostrils as we roll together like foxes on the hillside. You're craving for it. Now, out round. Let me go, you barbarian! Where's your sponge cake now, me girl? Your flower arranging. I'll give your lawn a sprinkle it won't forget. That's ridiculous!
There's Madge knocking at the door. Helen?
right in there. It sounds like a herd of buffaloes. No, it's fine, thank you, Madge. It's just that Mr. Lawrence is demonstrating an old Nottinghamshire clog dance. Right you are. Anyway, Harold and I are off to visit Gail and Paul. We're going to drop off an anniversary present to them, OK? So just swing the door when you leave, will you? Of course, Madge!
Ready for another clog dance?
Clogs on and ready to go. The night is cool and smooth, like a woman, like Gail. Electrified by the fluid lightning that flares within him, Henry reaches the motel. His spirit as luminous as the neon lighting Paul has been tacky enough to install. Paul, the enemy.
Hi, Paul. Just thought I'd, say hello. Stick around for a beer, maybe?
Oh, hi, Henry. I don't really have time for a chat, mate. You know what it's like running a business. Well, there again, maybe you don't.
Yeah, well, maybe that's because I've got other priorities, like deep and meaningful love, for instance. Okay, if I take my vest off?
We've all seen your nipples, Henry. They're not so special.
Okay, well, maybe I should take everything off.
Look, Henry, if this is another of your light-hearted jokes, I'm afraid I don't have time, all right?
Yeah, but that's just it, isn't it, Paul? You never do have time. Not for Gail, any road. She doesn't want invoices and VAT returns. She wants love. And I think you'll find that I'm the guy who can give it to her. Get your togs off, Paul. Get your togs off and come over here and wrestle.
You want to wrestle with me? Naked?
Yes, I'm prepared to do it to win the woman I love. Right, that's me ready. Jesus, Henry. You're absolutely gorgeous. I love the way the firelight plays in your skin, mate.
No, Paul. Now, this isn't quite what I had in mind, mate. Come on, Henry. I'll wrestle you. I'll even let you win. Only, throw me about a bit, will you? Hello? Is anyone at home? Paul! It's Madge and Harold Bishop here.
Blimey, it's my mother. What will she do if she finds me wrestling naked with a married man?
It's all right, Henry. She'll understand. She's been round an aircraft carrier before now. Paul! What on earth is going on in there? Harold? Make an investigation through the keyhole.
Not very polite, Madge.
Do as you're told. Oh, Gail, thank God you're here. Hello, Harold. Hello, Madge. What's the matter? That's just what we're trying to find out, dear. Harold, what can you see?
I don't believe it, Madge. I simply do not believe it. It's Paul and young Henry. They're running around Paul's office with no clothes on.
Don't be ludicrous, Harold. Let me see.
Great balls of Whitlam! Henry! Open this door!
Oh. Henry Ramsay, what on earth is going on?
Look, Mum, I know this looks rather bizarre, but I can explain everything. Mr. Lawrence had this great idea that I should challenge Paul to a wrestling match.
I might have guessed. Those bloody Poms! How they managed to reproduce at all amazes me. Them and the trials of Oscar Peterson. Goodness gracious. We left Helen with that bearded creature. Heaven alone knows what outrages he's perpetrating. Harold, run for the police!
I go at once, my treasure of the Sierra Madre.
Gail, I don't think you should go in there, dear. It's all right, Madge. I can face up to what is left of my motel life. So, Paul, I don't suppose there's very much to say, is there? Look, Gail, it was a momentary lapse, Really? Really? Now, where have I heard that before? The night the Bolshoi Ballet stayed here for nothing? The posters of Barry Gibb in what should have been the nursery. I know, Gail, and I've decided to make a clean break. There's a touring company from Alice Springs doing Anchors Away, and I've decided to leave town with them tonight. Goodbye, Gail. Goodbye, Henry.
Gail, I'm still here. Faithful old Henry. What do you say we make a new beginning together?
I'd love to, Henry. You know I would.
You're very kind, you're very sweet, but you're also very stupid. I couldn't take the risk.
It's all right, Gail, I understand. I'll think. Madge! Madge! Mr. Lawrence is here with Helen Daniels. I do not know what is the matter with her. She keeps going on about how he's showing her all these exciting new